30 days ago, I told you I was going to take a broke detailing business to 10k a month in 90 days. We're now a third of the way in and they've just hit their first 4.7k month. If this is the first episode you're watching, two lads invested 2.5 grand into a mobile detailing business, got really busy for the first 2 weeks, relying on word of mouth and referrals, and after 2 weeks hit a bit of a standstill and couldn't get any more jobs in. So they reached out to me and we started running some mobile detailing adverts on Facebook and Instagram using some of the methods that I've done with my other clients, and we also did some different changes to the actual business model itself. In episode 1, we rebuilt their sales process, we increased their pricing and changed some other things to the inside of the business. We launched the ads at £5 per day, set some goals for the next 90 days, and over just 4 days in, they closed £370 worth of jobs, and 4 days of data means absolutely nothing, so the real test was 1 month in, and now we are 1 month in today. So I'm going to walk you through the exact whole process of the whole month, the changes we made, the halfway point, and every single tweak that we made to the actual ad campaign, and just a conversation between me, Alex and Connor into how we've gotten on with the goals, how we've achieved those goals, and the metrics that we've achieved so far. And the parts that nobody speaks about online when it comes to running a business, and every hurdle that we faced so far. To be honest, we haven't faced a whole lot just yet, but obviously this is still early doors. But just a quick insight, we've had 190 leads, they've booked 27 jobs, and like I said, have made 4.7k in revenue so far. And if you told me 1 month ago this is where we'd be in 30 days, I mean, I'd be pretty happy, to be honest. We're 50% of the way to our goal of 10k in 1 month, and we fixed some of the core principles that were broken inside the business, and we're very close to nailing the ad campaign. So stick around and I'm gonna walk you through the entire process of what we've done with the business in the first month, some results, an interview with Alex and Connor, and what we're gonna do going into month 2. Okay, so we're now 2.5 weeks into the Axon detailing campaign, and I want to show you the results we've had over the last about 18 days or so. So we launched on the 9th of May. It's now the 27th of May. So what I want to do is I want to show you the results inside the ads manager, what I've done in the meantime within those 2.5 weeks, and also inside the lead tracker and what they've had conversion wise and the changes we've had to make. So if we have a look from today back to the 8th, 101 leads, spent £95, an average cost lead of 95 pence, which is pretty good. Heavy lifting is all being done by our ad 3, our pay after results hook, and our ad 5 is doing a little bit as well to the generation. So 92 pence, £85 spent on the main winning ad. Now if we head over into the tracker itself, this is what we've got. The main information is obviously in the CEO dashboard. So they've had 101 leads from Facebook, they've had 11 converted into jobs, and from those 11 they've made £2,015 at an average of 10% conversion rate, which isn't the greatest. If their average cost lead is 95p and they're converting 1 in 9, 1 in 10, cost per acquisition is in that sweet spot of around £10, which is exactly where we want it to be. And even if we break down that £2,000 to find out their average order value, just under £200, which is brilliant from what it was before we made those price increases. They've obviously also got some of their word of mouth stuff. Now with their word of mouth, they were still operating their old pricing because with friends and family, they didn't want to hike their prices up by, like I said, 2.4 times is what we increase their price by. They didn't want to do that with their friends and family, so they kept it, slight increase, but not massive. So for May, they booked in just over 2.2, and obviously we're not at the end of May. We've had some leads come in today. June and July, they've also booked in a job. Now, we had a conversation yesterday with Alex and Connor, and they've decided to increase or double their ad spend to £10 a day after just being 2.5 weeks in, because they feel like they can handle the lead flow, they want more jobs, and they would be able to take on, if they're converting 1 in every 10 leads and their cost per lead is 95p, they generate 10 leads a day at £10 ad spend. That's 1 job a day. 1 job a day at £190. That is just under 5.8k every month. From that 5.8k, they would have invested £300 into ads, which is around an 18x ROI or ROAS on their ad spend. So after we were 2 weeks in, we needed to make some tweaks because there was a couple of variations and a couple of numbers that weren't necessarily adding up when I was looking at the spreadsheet, which I'll show after this clip. So the first change, which I mentioned in the last clip, was we doubled the ad spend to £10 a day, which we were hoping was going to double the lead flow and also keep the cost per acquisition the same, and also make sure that we're getting 1 job a day rather than 0.5 or 1 job every 2 days. But there was another ceiling that we kind of had to break, and that was the lead quality. Because the conversion rate was only 10%, that is relatively low. We realistically want that between 15 and 25%, and 10% is just too low. Now this can be also based on the sales process. First factor I wanted to kind of eliminate and get rid of was the fact that we had a question on the lead form was just looking for a quote, and we wanted to change that to in the next couple of weeks. Because when people are just looking for a quote, there's no commitment being made. They make it quite obvious that they they're just here to look for a quote, and we change that to in the next couple of weeks. So when are you looking to get your car cleaned, rather than looking for a quote in the next couple of weeks. So what that is, it's a mini commitment. Make a mini commitment on the front end before they even kind of do anything. That's just a change as soon as possible. Same, everything else is the same, just this bit is the new section. Now, in that one word, there's two mechanics, like I mentioned. There's the self-selection filter. The safe, just looking for a quote, is the safe answer. It lets the taker hide inside the funnel without committing to anything. And they're not just, they're not saying no, but they're not saying yes either. Remove that option, put them to choose a time frame. Either way, the leads that do come through have been basically placed themselves into the calendar before they even kind of submit the form. And this is Cialdini's consistency principle. So once a person commits to something small, even just picking a time frame in a form, they're statistically more likely to follow through on the larger decision later, taking the call or agreeing to the quote or booking the slot. And also will help people, actually answer the phone. And the boys also, it puts them in a better mental position, because now they know the people who are submitting the form actually are making a commitment. So they're not looking to someone just to give them a quote and the phone. They are actually looking to get their car cleaned in the next 2 weeks. So every call now starts a little bit warmer. The energy on the phone's changed. Now the boys went from, they aren't going to answer to, I know they're warm, I know they want it done in the next 2 weeks, and they can kind of feel that in the first 5 seconds of the call. And this is hopefully going to improve the close rate, decrease the cost per acquisition, or maybe even increase the cost per acquisition, but the quality will be better. It improved the people over the phone too. Okay, so now we're going to run over the numbers. Off surface level, we had 27 jobs, paid per scheduled, an 8.4% conversion or lead to the job rate, and £4,785 made to this day, and 190 leads generated across all sources. Okay, so here are the numbers in plain and clear. 179 leads from Facebook, 16 leads converted into jobs, but also 2 leads upsold onto more cars being cleaned, and that's been placed into the organic section. So Facebook's probably a bit more than 330. It's probably about 3.5 if we count the organic or the upsells. In May, we spent £139. 135 leads and 9 jobs per one. That's a cost per acquisition of £15, which is a little bit overboard. In June so far, we're 9 days into June, we've had 42 leads. The cost per lead has increased, but the quality slightly increased as well. We had 5 leads won in June so far, and a cost per acquisition of £20. So slightly over and where we are wanting to be. However, the boys are still profitable and still making it work. As you know, £239 spent overall and £3,030 spent, which is around a 12x ROI on what they've put into their investment, which is great. If we can get that to 15x or 20x, that's kind of the sweet spot where we want to be with this business. So yeah, these are the performance metrics so far. I'm very happy with how things are going, and I'm hoping we can continue increasing the spend and continue making changes. At the minute, if that cost per acquisition gets any higher than £20, we're going to need to make some changes and potentially change the ad creative of what we're going for. Right, so we're now 30 days in to the Axon detailing campaign. I'm here with Alex and Connor again, and we just want to speak about what we have, or how they've gotten over the last 30 days or so, what we've changed, and a little bit of the next steps moving forward. So now it's been just over 30 days. I think been about 32 days since that have been live. In total, 193 from Facebook, 15 jobs won, and some other jobs from organic and word of mouth. So how have you guys gotten on overall?
Yeah, it's been mental, to be honest. The amount of leads coming in. Yeah, we've been on top of it as much as we can. Definitely giving us more bookings than what we had before. And then, of course, we met up together and we discussed, and then we changed the sections of the form. So we took out the just looking for a quote, and we put in, I think it was next week, next couple of weeks, or this week. I think that's definitely changed the way that people are kind of inquiring. Some people are more direct to just book in, if that makes sense. Yeah. So the inquiries are a lot better leads wise to then contact. But yeah, I'll pass that to Connor.
As we've doubled our ad spend, I think the leads have flown through in, and now we're calling a lot more people. Our calls have become more accurate, and we know we have more confidence in what we're saying, which closing becomes a lot more easier. But ever since doubling it, the leads have just been flying in.
And then we've obviously changed the, like you said, we changed the form. We've changed, we've just gone over a new script that we want to incorporate, like a different angle to kind of attack the leads from. So I think that will change how the close rate, and hopefully improve the close rate of what you guys are doing. And I'll send over a playbook to you. I think as well, the ad spend is a big big difference to the business, having almost double the amount of leads coming in, but also keeping the cost per acquisition not too high. It is relatively high this month, but we can bring that down just due to the weather. We've had some pretty bad weather over the last couple of weeks, so
yeah,
stops you guys from obviously being able to do the work. And next steps wise, we want to look at incorporating a CRM. So I'll pass you guys over to my Go High Level account and we can start sending some automations. So you're not having to follow up with leads immediately. It's all done for you. When leads comes in, they're contacted. When leads are booked, they're contacted in automated Google reviews. And also we're going to look at incorporating that referrals program, that 50% off. If you refer us onto a friend, you'll get 50% off your next clean, which I think will also really help if you're just banging on about that.
Yeah.
Maybe 35%. We can look at the numbers, crunch numbers a bit more, but I think those next steps will improve where you guys are at in business. And just goal wise, month one, I think we set out for 4K, wasn't it, in month one?
I mean, the thing is, right now, I'd say we're much more confident in getting bookings, if that makes sense. So, for example, I'm much more confident with next week having a full jam-packed bookings. I think whereas beforehand, we were kind of doing one a day, we still got Thursday available. Now we're getting in more than one car a day. We're getting 2-3 cars a day. Which is meaning, of course, cost-wise, we can definitely make a lot more in a week. So I think, I mean, what is it? It's the 11th of June right now. So if we're looking at what's booked now, next week we've got a fully packed week. I'm pretty sure, like what Ozzy's done, the amount of leads flooding in, I think we're still confident to get to that goal.
Well, I think you kind of hit it. Like if you look at the organic side of things, like with the referrals from one of the customer, though, like a fair chunk in the organic section has come from that one customer, and that one customer come from Facebook. So I'm pretty sure you would have almost hit the goal. Maybe you hit like 3.5, and if you the organic referral or the one Facebook customer who's then kind of referred you on, well, not referred you on, but you've upsold him onto multiple cars. You could probably include him on the Facebook side of things. So you probably have hit your goal almost.
Yeah.
For month 2, any goals?
I think what our original goal was to break even with everything that we've paid for. I would personally say 5 maybe.
Yeah.
I think if we work out strategically, even if it was £200 a day for the 5 days a week, that's not even, let's say we had a job on the weekend. I think then if you do 200 times by, what was it? 200 times by, let's say 25, that's £5,000 there and then.
Yeah.
I think even if we're looking cost-wise and price, obviously making a certain amount, but I want more kind of just fully booked weeks, if that makes sense, which we are getting, but that's what I want is the month to be, we can go back and even content-wise, we have all these photos, which, I mean, on Instagram, we've now been able to put out a lot of different cars that we've done, building up that clientele, even the reviews, I want to build up over the month. I think we've got 6 now, I'd want to at least get up to 15, etc. But I think 5, 6.
Yeah, and I think hopefully between this month and next month we'll have polishing locked down. So then the next category, is it last 30 days? Hopefully at 5 figures.
Yeah.
But we just need to this month lock down polishing, and then we can sell ceramic coating, and then that's where we can triple our jobs.
Yeah. So here are the transparent results from month 1. This system's in, the boys are closing, and they've got a proper client acquisition system that they can scale and move forward with. However, over the next 30 days, it's going to be the toughest 30 days Axon Detailing are probably going to have. Since we've doubled the spend, they're going to have more calls coming in, more leads to deal with, and more jobs to also deal with. So they're going to be spinning more plates and dealing with more customers, and the added stress can break the business. And to be honest with you, when you try and aggressively scale like this can damage the business. Because scaling is not the same as just launching. When you go from £5 a day to £10 a day, you've got more jobs coming in, you've got more leads coming in, and you've got even more people to keep happy. That's added stress, and it makes you spin more plates, which is difficult in business. But then even then, when you go from £10 a day to £20 a day, that is a whole different ball game. You're not just doubling your lead flow, your cost per leads do increase, your cost per acquisition prices do slightly increase also. However, you're now on the job, doing 5 cars a day, every day for the next 30 days. You're trying to manage your finances, you're trying to manage time, you're trying to manage your social life. And this is where businesses can really, really struggle. And when more leads start coming in and the jobs start stacking up, this is when things start breaking. And the question is, what is going to break first? So we're going to manage the ad spend over the next 10 days and manage to see if they're being able to keep on top of their leads whilst also managing the bookings that they've got. And if they are, then brilliant, we can keep at it. If they're not, then we may need to look at reducing the spend or alternatively changing changing some things, changing some more things in the sales process so we can fix this issue. Now, if we get this right, Axon on the perfect trajectory to hit their first 10K month on month 3. I'm confident on that. And if we get it wrong, we'll have wasted all of the momentum from month 1. However, either way, I'm going to show you exactly how we take this business to the next level, and any problems that we do face, I'm going to be completely transparent with you along the way. So if you don't want to miss episode 3, click subscribe below so you don't miss out. And if you're a service-based business and you like what I've done for Axon Detailing, then click the link below. There's a booking link of my Calendly where we can have a chat and discuss if this is the right system for your business.